how's it going?
I'm doing very well, and how are you today?
I am doing okay. I'm waiting for it to show live on my iPad.
Yeah, so we have a delay.
Yes.
So I can see it on mine. So, and then there's that YouTube will throw in a commercial, and then I'm going to skip it because I want to get into seeing, well, it's not going to let me skip it. Okay, here we go. Now, when you are on your chat, Rebecca, up at the top or somewhere, there's like a little triangle with lines. If you click on that, you want to set it to all messages. That keeps it current in the chat. Otherwise, it just throws out like the best comments. So you want to set yourself, everybody who's here, hello, Amanda. You want to set yourself to all chat. Hey, Amanda, did you watch the king, the coronation? What is it called? Sorry, I'm an American. This is like such a cool thing you guys got going over there. Did you know that King Charles and the Queen were crowned today? So I woke up early and I was watching that all morning long. Okay, let's see. So I can see my screen and I can see you. So today we have Rebecca Hewett is with us. Am I saying your name correctly? Is that how you want to be known as, or
Becca or Bex?
Okay, Becca or Bex. We're with Becca or Bex. She's part of our community, and she's going to be teaching us her. I know them as galaxy shirts, but she likes to call them nebulas. And why don't you explain a little bit about what we're going to be doing?
Oh, turning off the commercial. I was finally able to connect. I'm sorry. What was your question again?
Oh, no. I was just trying to let people that are here know what we're going to work on. And this is your design. And so explain to us what we're working on, maybe what they should get in front of them if they want to tie along with us.
Okay, well, what we're working on is this style of shirt. Although we're going to be working on a t-shirt and a small tapestry. Or 2 t-shirts, or basically whatever you have handy to dye. We've got the fabric has been soda ash soaked and spun dry. I'm going to be doing a 3X Skildens and a flour sack tea towel.
Wow, I mean, look at that. So your shirt just popped up on my screen. Remember, we have this delay when we're trying to look at each other. So
right,
like that is stunning work. I love that, and I hope that I can achieve something like that someday. So
I'm sure you can get. This is actually one of my early ones, and this was like the first one I ever did on rayon. So
thank you, Amanda. I don't know what I would do without Amanda. No, I'm not plugged in, but I'm gonna do it right now. All right, that's my girl. Okay. No, so that's on rayon fabric.
Yeah, this one's on rayon. I didn't have any painted ones on cotton that weren't horribly wrinkled.
Well, that's fine. I mean, we get the idea. So I call them galaxy. Rebecca calls them nebulas, or what did you just call them? Stardust?
I have my Stardust line on the Singing Wolf Dyes page.
I love that. I love the name Stardust is so magical, and it's very fitting for tie-dye, the bohemian vibe. You know, you're going to wear your Stardust garment. I love that. I think that's amazing. So real quick, because people click in and they click out, why don't you tell people like who you are, where you're from, what you're doing, so that if they want to click in and get out and come back and watch another day, if they do, they know how to find you if they want to buy one of those.
Okay, I'm Rebecca Hewett, also known as my site is the Facebook page Singing Wolf Dyes, DYES. Singing Wolf's all one word. And I do tie dye. I started, what was it, August last year? Yeah. I originally started off with me doing acid dyes on wool yarn, and I wanted to do a project for a friend who couldn't do shawls. She just overheated too much. So I wanted to do a silk scarf for her, and while I was doing the silk scarf, my husband's like, "I need new T-shirts," and that launched everything.
Yeah. It's amazing how it works out like that. It just like one little tie-dye project and it's like, wow, here we go. We're off on a whole new journey. So Singing Wolf Dyes, do you have a website or are you on Etsy or
Mm,
where can
no,
people buy your dyes?
it's all on Singing Wolf Dies.
Okay.
So if
Okay.
someone sees something that they really like, they can reach out to me basically from the post and ask if something's still available.
Okay. So like they can private message you via Messenger.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I am sorry, I'm having trouble getting to
Okay.
the comments.
My phone is got
Okay.
Your phone has the comments going?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what the hell's up.
We're careful with the language.
That's okay. I mean, work out
Or-
your technical difficulties. So this is our first one together, and there's always a little bit of bugs to work out, and till we get the vibe going. So,
I'm plugged in, but apparently I'm frozen.
are you?
Um, I don't know. We're about to see if something pops up on the screen. I'm trying to remember that there's a delay.
Yeah.
So
So there's a delay. I see your hands touching the table at this time.
okay.
So
Now I see it.
yeah. So I think I don't think you're frozen. I think you just don't have anything on the table. So it's
Yep.
kind of like
There,
you
there
know.
it is. Uh,
Okay. So all right. So we're gonna make this galaxy shirt, nebula shirt, and we're doing the dyeing process today, right?
right.
And so if you want to do it with us, why don't you grab your t-shirt? Or so what I have is I got these bandanas from Sunshine Joy. And you guys don't forget there is a coupon code for 10% off right now at sunshinejoy.com, and the coupon code is all capitals Belladonna. So, get over there and order your stuff. They have things more than just tapestries. They also have um, wrap skirts, scrub tops, I think scrub jackets. Uh, they've got stuff, so go check it out. And the coupon code is only good now through the month of May. So if you want to get your order in with them, do it now. And if you want to save on shipping, if you just spend over $100, it's free shipping. And it's so easy to do. You buy 10 tapestries and there's your $100. So take advantage of that coupon code because I don't know if we'll ever get another one. So I've got my, I don't know, this is a bandana is what I'm calling it, but I guess it could be a handkerchief, a tea towel. And then I'm going to be doing a George brand shirt, size medium, and it's been soaked in, both of these have been soaked in soda ash, and I spun them out in the Panda spin dryer. And for these, I only spun them for like 1 minute, so they are a lot more damp than I normally work with. My thought process was maybe if they were a little more damp, I'd get more of the blending of the dye. So that's where I'm at with mine. And um
Yeah, I spun mine out fairly dry.
okay.
But what I also usually do, if it just feels too dry to me, I have waiting for my delay to show. I have a little mister bottle that is normally, I guess, used for hairspray or something. I just picked it up at Amazon.
Mhm.
Wow. At the beginning of the pandemic, because I was going to do a spray sanitizer.
Okay. Oh yeah, like an atomizer type thing, but I can see you got the little lever there and it makes a really fine mist, right?
Right. And I use this sometimes when something's too dry in general and the dye's just rolling off of it. So I'll use it to mist the dye in place or to mist the fabric to just get it the capillary action started.
Yeah, right, because when it's too dry, it's yeah, right, that just opens up the fibers.
So
And that's just your regular soda ash mixture in there,
uh,
correct?
plain water.
Oh, that's just plain water?
Well, yeah, because I had a spray bottle with soda ash in it, and the soda ash corroded the plastic.
Okay.
Um,
So you haven't had any issue with just the plain H2O changing the pH in your fibers?
well, I'm going to be soda ashing. I'm going to be adding soda ash as we go, either
Okay.
or under the ice, and the amount of liquid in this is negligible. I mean, it's just a super, super fine mist.
Okay. All right.
Um,
I've never done that before because I'm just always in fear of lowering my pH. I got to keep that pH up.
well, I figure we've had it soaking, and then we're going to be adding more over the ice. And
Yeah.
I always use a ton. I use a ton of ice. Uh,
I think I use quite a bit as well.
yeah. So I like
Yeah.
it just enough to hold it in place. I don't soak it. So
Okay. Well, I mean, I've talked and worked with Scott Walker before, who says like the limited amount of water that his washing machine throws out doesn't affect his project. So, I'm hearing now other people saying, yeah, a little tap water doesn't seem to affect the project. So, hey, if it works, go for it. I'm just paranoid. I want
I
everything
had
to work.
I had the one time I did not put soda ash on a project, and I didn't do it on any of them that day.
Uh-oh. Did they all turn
Oh,
out?
everything was washed out looking.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, I mean, soda ash really is important in the process of tie dyeing.
Yeah, especially if you're using a ton of ice.
Oh man, what a bummer. I'm so
I'm
sorry that happened.
It had been soaked, but again, I used so much ice, and I was still going back and doing second and third ices on some of them because I was doing starflower, and I was doing dye over ice. It came out interesting, and again, it came out so faded that I just did a full. I folded it up, did a starflower again, used the same colors, so it came out pretty cool.
Yeah, well, right. Because after the washout, the dye went away because you didn't
Hmm.
have the soda ash in the first time, and so it was faded. So you were able to just tie it up again, and thank goodness, able. That's the one thing about tie dyeing. I have a whole stack of projects that just have not worked out, and eventually I'm going to re-dye them or strip them or something. If they can always be transformed into another masterpiece. So don't ever throw anything in the garbage. I know Scott Walker one time he was like, "This project didn't work," and I just took it and threw it in the garbage. I'm like, "No," because it can be fixed.
Yeah. Oh, I have a small trash can that has stuff in it waiting to be fixed.
Oh yeah, I think all of us. How many of you out there have stacks of things that need to be repaired? Lila, I want to say that when I was on Sunshine Joy recently, I believe they were fully stocked with the wrap skirts. The traditional wrap skirt that we're all really accustomed to, that have the little pocket that we can get from another seller that's on Facebook. And I'm not going to mention any other sellers because right now we're wanting to use that coupon code from Sunshine Joy. All right, well let's get into the project. I'm going to start with my t-shirt. Should I
That's
start with my t-shirt or the tea towel?
I'm gonna start with the t-shirt too.
Okay, so are we what are we doing? Tell me what
Well,
do we need to grab?
for this one, because of the size of my t-shirt, it's not going to fit comfortably in the container I would muck dye it in normally. So
Okay.
on this one, I'm going to go ahead and rack it.
Okay, we're rack dyeing. All right. So, um I'm going to give you a little bit of a head start so I can kind of see what you're doing so that I can try to emulate that. Um,
Okay.
so I need a rack. So I'll grab one of my racks. When you say rack, like flat rack? Oh,
I'm
oh
just
no,
using.
you're over the sink strainer. Okay. See, I don't consider that rack dyeing.
Oh, I consider it rack because it's not sitting in the muck.
I got it. I mean, okay, that's yeah. I mean, yes, in theory it is rack dyeing, but I'll tell you, this is so when you say a rack, I think, a flat rack, and then I don't know what I just classify these over the sink strainers as I guess I just have never considered it. Yeah, it is a rack dye.
Yeah.
So it's same difference. Okay.
And
So
and the thing is I don't like tying these. So if you want to go with a flat rack, um, and you want to tie it or rubber band it once you've scrunched it, that's fine.
yeah,
I've just never done it that way.
but you'll have to build some type of an ice barrier
Right.
if you do that. Or well, you don't have to, but your ice will go all over the place. So I'm gonna then let's see, what do you got it over top of? It looks like a dishwasher basin.
Yep, this
Let's
is dish
see.
basin. I usually have a big tote, but it was too big for the camera area.
Right, I hear you.
Okay.
Actually, I think I am gonna grab one of my totes just because my dishwashing basins I got from our dollar store and they're not deep enough. I will end up having part of it soaking in the
Yeah.
so I'm gonna just grab one of my totes. Okay.
Now,
Now, all right. So I've got my strainer and my shirt. Now, is there any special method of scrunch or anything like what do we do?
well, there's some of the things that you do want to take a little into consideration. If you've picked out your colors already, and I do want to go into colors briefly.
Yeah.
Now, what I normally do is I have a black, and then two blues and two purples, and then an accent color, which can be a pink or a purple or anything really. And but
Oh,
some of my blues, some of the stuff has the turquoise in it, which
right.
sinks to the bottom.
Yeah.
So if you want more, and the front and the back to these never come out quite the same. They don't quite match.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So if you want more blue on the front, you just need to make sure that on the shirts that you're when you go into scrunch them that you're putting them face down.
Okay. And do you turn your work inside out or does it
Um,
matter to
it
you?
doesn't matter on this.
Yeah. Okay. I
Okay.
agree. So, just because, in case we end up with blue on mine, I am going to place my front of the shirt facing down, just like you recommended. Uh, why not?
Yep.
So, okay. And then when you say black, do you have a favorite black? Do you prefer Raven? Do you prefer
Um.
jet black? I mean, I don't even
Oh,
know.
I usually use if I want a little bit more reddish tinge to it, I'll go with Prochem 629. I think it's been a while since I've used it actually.
Okay.
If I want more of a bluish tinge, I'll go with the Prochem 628 or the Raven that they had available around Christmas time last year.
Okay, so you are more of a pro chemical and dyer or
Well, when I first got into it, I could get more colors, more of the lower price colors through Prochem that I could with Dharma when I
yeah,
first
well, yeah,
started.
because Dharma's shipping is
Well,
terrible.
but they also had a broader range of the ones that were $1.95 for 2 ounces at Prochem.
Mm-hmm.
So we bought every single color they had at the $2 at basically $1 an ounce.
Yeah, that's a really great price.
Yeah, so we bought every single color they had at that, and then picked up the 629 black and spicy plum.
Oh my God, yeah,
I
spicy plum.
I didn't know about stormy skies at the time.
Yeah, stormy sky. That's a gorgeous color.
and then later, my next round of dyes were all Dharma. Honestly, what I have picked out for today, I've got 629 black from Prochem and the Prochem lapis for one of my blues.
Okay.
But everything else is Dharma.
Okay. Well, I have a very limited amount of Prochem colors, and I don't have lapis. I don't have any other blues, but I've got all of the Dharma colors. So I think I'm just gonna, when we get to the dyeing process, I'm gonna grab a couple purples. I'm gonna grab a black and, maybe like Magenta Galactica or something. I have no idea. I just like the name Magenta Galactica, but it doesn't split, but that's okay.
It's gorgeous. Honestly, the two colors that I will use on every single shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll pick my black. I always have the black, but Magenta Galactica and Midnight Blue is one of my purples and one of the blues that's on every single shirt of my Stardust line.
I happen to have Midnight Blue just like literally sitting on the table next to me. Yeah. And I think I have enough to at least make one more shirt. So, hey, I just want to give a big shout out that Boredom with Jen. Jen is in the house. And thank you, Jen, so much for your donation to the channel. I greatly appreciate that, of course. Thank you. Thank you. It's so good to see you here. All of you here. Actually, I'm going to take a moment to see who is in here. Teresa's here, Amanda, Shayla. We have, David. David, are you still in the house? And then I see a comment. It's Carl, but it says, I'm actually Rebecca's husband. Okay. All right. Well,
he's monitoring the comments for us.
Yeah, he's given that help. Okay, well, why don't you show us, like, how do you do your scrunch? What makes it so gorgeous? You any special technique?
Well, I usually start at a corner.
Okay.
And, the biggest thing is, you don't want to be too fussy.
Okay. So basically, do not overwork it.
Do not overwork it.
So I'm watching you now.
Yeah, I'm just pulling in from different directions, bringing it in.
All right. So you start at the corner there. I'm got that delay, but I'm trying behind you. And you're pulling up both layers, right? The front and the back are together. So both layers are laying in there together, and you're pulling from each side, like back and forth. And do you consider this a tall, deep scrunch? Do you consider this a tight scrunch, medium scrunch?
Medium.
Okay. Uh-oh, mine got snagged up in the... My sleeve is caught up in the rack portion that holds it over. Okay, I got it. Okay, and then just don't overwork it. Just pull it in, scrunch, get it down in there.
Yep, and you want it fairly tight because that tight is where you're going to start getting the dust areas. You're going to get areas that are the pale areas where you have like when you're looking at the nebulas, you have a lot of the debris that's sort of casting light and radiating out.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
That's your tight areas that have to resist.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
So I try to just get it all into the bottom.
And down in the bottom of the over the sink strainer. Yep. Okay. And so for those of you that don't have these over the sink strainers and you want to get them, down below in the description box of this video and all of my videos, everything that I use for tie-dye, almost everything. I mean, some of the stuff I get at the dollar store, I'm not listing down there because, every dollar store is different. But this stuff that I get from Amazon is all listed down below. These over the sink strainers, you can buy them anywhere, but the ones I get from Amazon are in a 2-pack. And they're rather affordable, and I love these things. I use them as much as I possibly can because they're a total space saver. I'm able to do 2 projects in one tote at the same time. So I love them. I use them constantly.
Another thing that I found really handy from the dollar store, because my husband, when he goes whenever he does the post office run, and he always says, "Oh, this might be something you can use," and he picks up 3 or 4 of them.
Oh, I know. Me too.
And they had this little sand plate kit for playing with sand at the beach, and it's a little strainer. I don't know.
Oh, like like a sifter, right?
Like a sifter.
Yeah. Okay.
this does very good for racking, for doing scrunches on the small tapestries on the towels, bandanas, or whatnot. It's a good size to hold them in and hold them snug if you don't want to do them in muck and you don't want to tie them. I actually use this when I do spirals on anything up to a large shirt, because I can do a spiral on the table, pop this down over it, slide it up, flip it up, and it's already contained, and I don't have to use rubber bands or anything.
Yeah, no, I love anything that you can just cram down into a container and the container does all the work. Seriously.
And then you just bury up around it and ice it. So if you see any of these and you want to do a rack die on a tapestry, it works quite well.
And you get it at the dollar store, so you get the whole kit, and then
yeah, it was this and a little shovel and a little rake.
That's a great price. And then you can use the bucket to do like a bucket die.
Yeah, well, it didn't have a bucket, but yeah, I'm sure that, you know.
Oh, it didn't come with like a little sand pail and a scoop?
No, it was this and a little shovel and a little rake thing.
Well, I mean, that's a start. I'm sure I could figure out a way to incorporate a rake in there too. All right. Now we've got this scrunched up. Are you dye over ice, dye under ice?
We're actually going to do a little bit of both.
Okay.
And I don't know if we want to just go ahead and get the
we can scrunch up the other one.
Yeah, let's get the other one scrunched up too, because if I'm going to be using the same colors across both of them, I don't want to keep on putting out.
Nope. I completely agree. That is more efficient. Okay, now this next one, we're going to be doing a muck project on this one, correct?
I use a plastic shoebox. Again, I usually use this on t-shirts up to an XL.
Okay.
Anything larger than that, it gets too tight.
Okay. I think I'm just going to use a bowl.
Yeah. I mean, whatever you normally would use. I'm probably going to have to, this is probably too big, but I have something I can use to reduce the size.
Yeah. So I always make sure to check the bottoms of my bowls, because in time they inevitably get some cracks.
Right.
You want to make sure that, like, this one has a little crack, but I'm not sure if it's cracked all the way through. But ultimately, I'm going to place it down inside my bin. So if it leaks, it's going to leak inside my big bin, and so that's, not going to matter. So I'm going to use my bowl, and again, that's another dollar store treasure. Okay, and so for the scrunch on this one, is it just the same thing? Kind of a tight but loose scrunch?
Right. A tight, a midway scrunch that's not overworked. So if you have tall peaks and a whole bunch of little ones, and you have some that are overlapping each other a little bit, that's fine. Leave them. The messier, the better.
Okay, so I like to call them tall peaks and low valleys. That's what I say when I'm, like when I'm talking to myself in my head quietly, like tall peaks and low valleys. Well, I say it when I'm editing videos, but when I'm trying to like tell myself not to overdo, you want tall peaks, low valleys. Okay. All right. And so for me, I like I just mentioned, I'm using the Sunshine Joy bandana, but you're using.
I'm using a flour sack towel by Utopia Kitchen.
Okay, and where do you get those, on Amazon or from a store or what?
I got them on Amazon, and I can resend you the link afterwards.
Oh, no, yeah. No, you sent me the link. Okay, so yeah, I can put the link down below in the description box after the video. I can't do it right now, but like when I'm editing, I can put it down in there. Okay, so now for the colors, I pulled out Midnight Blue. I also like another good blue for these, I think, is actually Nebula Navy, and it has it right there in its name, which is a really super dark blue.
I almost picked that one for one of mine. I went with Deep Space.
Oh, there's also Deep Space. I just have to look and see. I know I have one of them. I think I have them both, but I also have one in a large container, and I don't remember.
I think that this shoebox is not going to work for me. I'm switching out containers and using a large, like Gladlock brand container.
Okay, yeah. That's just it. With Tiedye, we gotta make it work. Okay, so all right. So I have for my blacks, I've got new black. I have new black, and new black leans more towards blues, and then I have raven black, which leans more towards the reds. Do you have a suggestion on which black you think I should use?
What's your accent color?
I was thinking I would do magenta galactica just for that bright pop. What color should I use for my accent color? Is that too dark for an accent color?
Well, on the t-shirt, on all of them, I'm going to be using the 629 black, the midnight blue, and the magenta galactica. That's my standard.
Okay, that's your standard. Doesn't matter what. That's what you always use.
That's what I always grab.
Okay, so that is not my accent color. So I need
your accent color.
I need a lighter. Okay, what color range? So I've got my magenta galactica.
Well,
what color range should my accent? Should I pull from purples, oranges, yellows, greens? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter. On your shirt, I used Strawberry Skies. I've used bronze. I've used Lime Pop.
Ooh.
I haven't used. I was going to, and I switched directions. I wanted to try some of the golds, like some of the yellows. So on the t-shirt I'm doing, I have a fairly goth friend, and so for hers, my other three colors, my other purple is going to be the Imperial Purple, and the other blue is going to be Deep Space, and then her accent color is going to be the Blue Violet, which is going to split into the blues and the pinks.
Okay, all right.
But for the tapestry, my other purple is Dharma's Ultraviolet.
I just literally had that in my hand, and I have it, Ultraviolet.
And then for the tapestry, the other blue is going to be Prochem's Lapis, because I haven't tried it yet. And Dharma's Electric Green.
So I feel like I have Lapis, or maybe I don't have Lapis. So when you're choosing your blues, okay, so do you do like a dark blue and then a light blue, or are they both dark blues?
Sometimes I'll do a dark and a light.
Because
part of it really depends on how blendy you want it and how much you want stuff to stand out. On the rayon shirt that I showed, the first showed at the very beginning, I went with all dark blues.
Okay.
But on,
because I have Nebula Navy, so I've got Nebula Navy, New Black, which leans more towards the blues. Okay. And then Nebula Navy, and then for the purple I have Ultraviolet. Now I also have Navy Blue out, but I'm just wondering if maybe having like a little bit lighter shade of a blue, like an ice blue or something, like really light, to show dark and light, or
that would be awesome.
I've never made one of these, so I'm really relying on you, because I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the thing with these, is I honestly have not found a color combination that has not worked.
Okay.
So
because I also have black cherry. Like black cherry could be one of the purples.
Yeah. Actually, hand me the shirt that I'm going to be, because I'm going to be doing that. We were discussing about me painting the stars on one of them. And I don't remember what blue I used on this one off the top of my head. But here's one that I did that's Waiting on Stars. But I used a lighter blue, and I think I used lime pop on this one when it pops up from the delay.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I mean, look at how pretty that is. Look at all that. Yeah, that's gorgeous. And all those, it's not white space, but for lack of a term to call it, like the white space areas, that's what really gives it that nebula, like it's deep in the galaxy of just
Right. And
infinity and beyond.
They're not so much white. They're just very, very pale. They're very pastel in those spots.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I know they're not white, but you know what I mean? Like that. A lot of times in our projects, we don't want any white space, all color, color, color. But when you have the low tones, it brings your eye deeper into, and that's what gives it that really like deep outer space galaxy feel. Like it just bring you into it. I love that. That is so pretty.
So, yeah. So, and then I was talking about how the front and the back are definitely different.
Yeah.
If you look at this shoulder right here,
You gotta let it catch up for a minute. If you have flipped it over, I haven't seen that part
I
yet.
have not flipped it over yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And now I think, yeah, you're flipping it now. Okay, so that's beautiful. And you said the green tones in that is from the lime pop.
Yep, I did lime pop on this one.
Maybe I'll do lime pop as my accent color. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Lime pop or lime squeeze? I have them both. I
haven't played with lime squeeze yet.
I just never use lime squeeze. I just don't use it. Okay.
Well, this would be a good chance to use it up.
Well, yeah, that's just it. Okay. All right. So that really is fantastic. So I want mine to kind of have that feel to it. So I can see the Magenta Galactica, right? That's the fuchsia. So I've got Magenta Galactica, Nebula Navy is my really strong navy. I do have Midnight Blue, but I feel like Midnight Blue and Nebula Navy might be really like kind of the same in darkness.
But Midnight Blue splits out into purple.
Oh, it does? Okay. Well, then I'm gonna do Nebula Navy, Midnight Blue, Magenta Galactica. I've got Ultraviolet, and then I have Black Cherry on the table, but I don't have to. I could do like Power Berry.
That'd be nice.
Power Berry is a really nice dark purple. I know I have it somewhere. Oh, and I also have Houdini Blue, but Houdini Blue doesn't split.
But it's still going to get some light and dark because of the ice and the folds and the resist. So even if it doesn't split, it still shouldn't be off the table.
Right. I was looking for. Oh gosh, now what the heck did I just come over here for? Power Berry. There it is. So I've got Power Berry. Have you ever used Power Berry? It's a Dharma color. It's really pretty.
I have it, but I don't think I'm sure I've used it because I've done things that I've just basically pulled out all my purples. But I haven't used it on its own or where it's been a predominant color.
Well, it's really pretty. So I think I'll do Ultraviolet, Power Berry. Okay, so I've got my colors, and then my accent color. I'm gonna go. See, hot pink. I'd like to do a hot pink accent color, but it doesn't dye very well with ice dyeing.
If you
you know,
that's the problem with Pro-Chem when you just have to put it down really heavy, and then it might as well be a red in some cases.
Yeah, and I don't really want. Oh, I just bent over and I see Mars dust. That would be another fun one to make at some point. Like the name's Mars dust just says you need to be made into a nebula shirt. This whole thing reminds me of the colors of my sinew puller, like this oil. I call it the oil slick color from Jen. But what I want how I want my nebula to look is like more towards the like the cool tones, or is it? I don't know if the fuchsia would be considered warm, but I want it to have like the pink, the purple, the blue, and then maybe the accent color be that green. So yeah, why not? Why not try lime squeeze? Why not? Let's just try it.
All right.
Or Nosberry might be
Well,
interesting.
and don't forget you got your project, so you can do 2 different.
Oh yeah, that's true. Let me see. My God, why do I have so much dusty rose? Holy smokes.
You can send it to me.
I just found an unopened 8-ounce jar of dusty rose. Like, that is a lot of dye, and I've never even opened it. My goodness. Okay, well.
Either.
I'm looking for my lime squeeze. Well, if I can't find lime squeeze, I can do another one that's very similar to lime squeeze is Granny Apple or Chartreuse. Because I love purple and green together. I'm just obsessed with it. So, okay. All right. Now I've got my dye colors. Now what do we do?
Okay. We are going to be doing. Let me get both of them out here. I'm going to set up the tapestry first because it's smaller and it's a lower profile. Or actually, now I'm just all dizzy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the colors that are going across all of them, both of them. I'm going to put those down both. I'm going to put them down on both projects.
Okay, so dye under ice.
Dye under ice at first.
Okay.
Okay. One of the actually we're going to be putting on the black last. So okay. I'm going to go ahead and get my magenta galactica and my midnight blue down on both projects. Because they're the 2 colors that are going to be across the board.
Okay. All right.
And
so I've got mine side to side, and I what I want to do is I want to let you like get a head start on me, so then I can see how you're applying them and try to emulate that.
Okay. What I normally do is I'll start off with the magenta galactica, and I'll sort of dust a streak onto it.
Hey, Rebecca, if you move yourself, let's see, to your left just a few inches, because your over the sink strainer's a little bit to the top of the screen. If you can just move your dishes over just a little bit, I think you'd be more in frame.
See if that.
Yeah, just you want to go that way.
Just a little bit, not a lot. But then that way you're closer to the screen instead of having it up like top and almost out of shot.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay. So, all right. So now you're just doing the dye like stripes?
Yeah, I usually start off with a couple streaks of magenta galactica, and I build up around it from there.
Okay. So starting with magenta galactica. Okay.
On the tapestry, I'm just going to do 2 little streaks. And then I'm going to move it over and move the shirt closer. And I'll just keep on rotating them around.
Okay.
As I do each
one. And probably doesn't matter left or right, up, down.
Nope.
But it looks like you're doing it on more of a diagonal. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to just kind of do like a medium strip, I guess. And let's see. So you did, you started with okay, I'm going to go over to the bandana. I don't even know. It's a bandana.
It doesn't really matter which order you do them in, because I'm just going to be swapping them back and forth as I go on these 2 colors.
Okay. And okay, so Just
And,
like a couple stripes of each sort of thing.
yeah, and if the dye doesn't stay all contained and it spatters out some like it did on my shirt, um, that's fine.
Okay.
Maybe I need to lift it up some so it's better able to see that.
Okay, so, and it's not necessarily, you're not just doing just stripes. You kind of moved it in another direction too. Okay.
Right.
I've never done that before, so this is new to me. All right.
Yeah. Well, it's also one of the reasons why when I scrunched it, I started at the corner and I started scrunching from one direction, and then I switched. Yeah, no, I started scrunching all the way around. So it's not all scrunched in the same direction either.
Got it. Right. Totally makes sense. Okay. I think I should put a little more. I kind of went really light on the tapestry thing, and I could probably in some areas go a little bit heavier. Okay. And I'm using
don't forget, you also have 5 other colors to add to that.
Well, right. But 100%. But in my stripes, it was like really light.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm beefing it up a little bit. And I'm using my funnel scoops that I got from Jen and John over at www.boredomwithjen.com. Jen is a tie-dyer herself, so she makes amazing tools for us to use. And I'm a lefty, so these are left-handed scoops. So you can get them in left-handed or right-handed. And I'm using the left-handed scoops. Okay, so you started with the Magenta Galactica. Now, what color are you doing?
I am reaching for my midnight blue because it's going on both projects.
Okay. So I have Nebula Navy and I have Midnight Blue. And I think Nebula Navy is a lot darker than the Midnight Blue. So is your Midnight Blue your darkest navy blue?
No.
I mean that you're using today.
Yeah, I'm not sure how dark lapis is compared because I think I've used lapis once, and it was quite a while back. Deep Space is darker.
Yeah, because I thought lapis was more of a like a royal blue, but I mean who knows. So I think I'm gonna try with the Nebula Navy. I'm gonna because it says Nebula in it, and since I'm making a Nebula shirt, why not?
So what I normally do with the first blue is I'll come right alongside my stripes.
Okay.
It doesn't side. And if it overlaps a little, that's fine.
Okay. So I'm gonna watch you, and then I'm gonna get after mine. So you're just okay. You're coming right up alongside. Okay. All right. I'm doing the same thing. Same amount. Just kind of getting it on there, right?
And on the shirt, I'm actually going to add a few other little spots here and there because there's just more area to cover.
Okay. And do you put it on both sides of the Magenta Galactica or just one side?
I usually just do one side because I've got more purples and more blues to build up on.
Okay. All right. I like it. I'm doing the same thing.
And let's put some right there. And
okay.
Maybe there.
And then you just kind of pick a spot and add a little more. Okay.
Yeah. And if you have some sitting on your scoop at the very bottom, find an empty area and tap it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, I think.
Oh, yeah, I had done my tapestry already.
Okay. All right. So then, so I did my Nebula Navy, Magenta Galactica. Okay.
Okay. So now I'm going to focus just on my tapestry because those were initially the only 2 colors I had in common. I got the black, but I do that at the very end. So I am going to, since my tapestry and my shirt has different colors for the rest of it, I'm going to grab my other purple.
Okay. So I guess then I'm going to be grabbing my Power Berry.
Okay, I'm grabbing my ultraviolet.
Oh, well, I have ultraviolet too, so I can do ultraviolet too. See, ultraviolet to me is It's a dark purple, which leans towards the navy blue. And then Powerberry definitely splits into totally navy blue. I saw somewhere it'd be great if I could find where I put my spoons. Yeah, I know. I have a stack of missing funnel scoops. I took them because I put everything in the dishwasher, you guys, and I took them and set them somewhere, and I haven't been able to find them since. Okay, so ultraviolet. Okay, here we go. Ultraviolet.
And I'm just dusting the other side of the Magenta Galactica.
Okay, so we did the navy, I did nebula, but our navy, dark navy blue went on one side, and now we're doing the dark purple on the other side. Okay.
And again, just find an area and tap off any excess onto the.
Okay. Well, I really didn't leave on my bandana. I did not leave myself much room for any other colors.
Oh, you'll fill in the spots, even if it's just little specks. A little bit, every little bit.
And then and then use up the extra, like you said, around that little side spot that we started. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. I'm grabbing my other blue.
I probably should have gloves on. I'm already starting to get dye on my hands.
Oh, yeah, I never remember to do gloves.
Okay. So, all right. Now, okay, what did you just grab? Or what are you grabbing now?
I grabbed my lapis.
Okay. So that's your lighter shade of blue.
I think. Maybe.
Or, well, in theory, you've got the dark and then the light. Right. So now this is where I'm wondering if I should try an actual lighter blue, like I have alpine blue, which is more of a turquoise. I have wedgewood. That would be gorgeous. I wonder if wedgewood would look pretty. Wedgewood would be like a really gray blue, which might give like a cloud feeling, maybe. I don't know. I think I want to do it. I think I just want to try. I think I want to try out some wedgewood and see what happens. Could be the biggest mistake I've ever made, but
there's no way to do mistakes on these.
I mean, that's true.
There's no mistakes on these shirts.
Well, it's tie-dye, right?
Right.
It's all beautiful.
And it's all going to blend. That's the thing. There's a lot of blending on this.
Now, where are you placing your this lighter blue? Next to your darker blue, or just
in empty spots?
Okay, so now we're just filling in space. Okay.
Space, but don't forget you have your accents and black to go.
Okay. So I'm kind of putting it next to my darker blue, just to, maybe try to create like a layer effect. Hopefully where it'll kind of like transition out to give it depth is my goal anyways. Who knows if it'll work. But
let me go ahead and get the blue down on my the other purple and blue down on my t-shirt.
Okay.
I've been focusing on the tapestry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you want to do that. Okay.
So, for the t-shirt, my other purple is going to be imperial purple.
Are you making more than just? Are you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just
like off camera. Do you have a third t-shirt or a second t-shirt you're working on?
No. I was doing just the tapestry.
Got it. Boy, oh boy, I've used way more dye than you have. Like, you've got a lot more white space than I do. I've really, really been putting it on lots. That's okay.
Yeah, that's.
So,
I also think I have a larger shirt in place than you do. I'm working with a 3X.
Oh yeah, mine's just a medium. So, okay, so that leaves more space. So you just did your darker purple, and I did not wait a minute. You're just catching up to where I am on my shirt.
Right, because you've been working on both, and I was working on just one once I got past the Midnight Blue and the Galactica.
Got it.
So I'm putting on my darker blue onto the shirt. And again, I'm just filling in spaces. This is Deep Space.
No, I did Nebula. I didn't do Deep Space.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, I'm just filling in areas.
So I'm just wondering, like, so I've got stuff like around the edge. Like, when does the black come into this?
At the very, very end.
And does that dye over ice?
Well,
Or
a lot. Well, it is going to go over ice, but whether you're going to put it under ice also is going to be dependent on how much of the softer colors you want.
okay. Because I've got a lot of like white around the edges. So I'm thinking when I open up the bandana, the edges are gonna, I mean, depending upon what color I put there, obviously, I think I want my edges to be a little bit darker than light.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
I'm running out of room. So I'm wondering, I'm trying to, in my mind envision where my next color is coming
right.
gonna go.
I am going to go into the accents. For the shirt, I'm using blue violet.
Okay.
And again, what you might want to do on your
I did ultraviolet.
yeah.
Oh, I think I picked the wrong color.
No, there's no wrong color. It just means that yours is not going to match mine. That's fine.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, but you did do, I'm stuttering. You did do ultraviolet, right?
On one of them, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But for my shirt, I'm using the blue violet as my accent color.
Okay.
And I'm just picking a few spots that don't have anything in there. And I'm overlapping a little bit, which is fine. We want them up by the collar.
Okay.
And
So should I pick my accent now and put it in the open areas?
Yep.
Or, okay.
Go ahead. And you're not doing so much streaks as you are doing like little patches.
It's just more like patches. Okay.
Yeah, there's not as much room now, and we are going to be adding some black.
So I'm wondering then, because last minute, this is normal stuff that I do. Wedgwood blue and let's say chartreuse might look really not cool together. I almost wonder if I should do more of a like lavender as an accent, or
if you're doing okay, could you use Wedgwood blue on both pieces?
Yeah. Both of my shirts are gonna, or both of my projects are gonna be basically the same.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I guess I could do a different accent on the other one. So I'm just, I'm thinking Wedgwood blue is going to lean more towards like a gray blue, like a light blue, gray blue, and something chartreusey might just be like, ooh, not smart.
Yeah, you might want to put something that's going to really pop. Hot hibiscus would be wonderful.
Hot hibiscus?
Hot hibiscus.
Okay.
I think would work really, really well for a really bright pop.
Even against the Magenta Galactica, you don't think that the two hot pinks would just sort of be fighting against each other?
I think they'd actually blend well together.
Okay.
Just get two different shades.
I have it. I know I have it.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
let's see. Also, let me go in my color drawer and see what else might work. Deep orange would work.
Oh my God, really? I've never even considered any that never crossed my mind. That sounds like a lot of fun. How about well, raspberry splits down into turquoise, like straight turquoise. Raspberry might just be fun. Okay, so I found my lime squeeze. Maybe I don't even have any room on my bandana is basically full.
Actually, I'm looking at your bandana, and you got a few little spots in your stripes
Yeah.
that you can just put little tiny pops in.
So maybe I'll do the hot pink on that. Let's see if I can find it. I just saw it. I think hot hibiscus. There it is. There it is. I'm going to do this with a spoon. I don't have much left. So I don't have enough to get, it's not deep enough to get my my funnel scoop in there. Okay, so you're saying just kind of layer it over top like in little spots?
You've got some spots right up right there with the pinks and blues. Just put like little tiny spots in. Like you'll see I'm putting down just a little bit of green and just little empty spots here and there, and if it's overlapping, it's overlapping.
Yeah, I've got a lot of spots along the edge line where I feel like maybe that's where I should go in with one of my dark blues.
Or that's where you're going to be going in with because our next color is going to be black.
Oh, so the black is going on. Okay.
Black goes in last. The black basically is you're filling in the spots that your colors didn't hit.
Okay.
So
this is hot hibiscus is going down on the bandana or handkerchief, or I think I ordered them thinking they were bandanas. But I ordered them because I wanted to try to practice getting better at like mandala centers, like the very center part. I really struggle and don't enjoy making anything that requires that much thought process. Okay, now I never did a second dark blue, so I'm just going to throw some Power Berry down on this one. And then my accent color on this one. I originally started with the idea of doing the lime, like a lime squeeze, and maybe I should still just do that and just see what the heck happens. But I'm worried about that.
There's lots of room to experiment.
I'm just so worried about the Wedgwood blue and lime squeeze, because lime squeeze, when it splits, it'll split down and it has some red to the edges of it. And Wedgwood blue with red edges, I just don't know if that would look very pretty. I mean, again, it's everything beautiful.
And the thing is, on my tapestry with the electric green that I added, hitting the pink, I'm going to get some tie-dye brown in there. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I don't mind about tie-dye brown at all. I'm a huge advocate for making tie-dye brown. How about something like, well, really like lavender? Probably not much of a not a bright enough contrast, right? I mean, right. I could always go really safe and do strawberry skies. I mean, right?
Mm-hmm. Strawberry skies would work well. Now give you some gold notes in there, possibly.
Well, I could also just take Palomino Gold and do that too.
That would be gorgeous.
You think it'll show up with all these dark colors?
It might.
Well, I know this is the most annoying part of everything when you dye with me, is me and my constant indecision as to what colors I'm going to use.
Well, think about with mine. With my tapestry, my bright green is going to pop, but in my T-shirt, the blue violet's going to get blendy. So I've got one that's where everything should be blending in, and I've got another one where I'm hoping to get some standout color.
Yeah, I'm looking at yours. I see your green there. What about bronze? Is bronze too brown?
No, bronze would be gorgeous.
I don't know, you guys. I'm like, bronze, snosberry, lime squeeze. What do I do? What did Amanda say?
Look for electric green.
Oh, electric green? Yeah. I have it somewhere. I know I do. Electric green. All right. Sure, Amanda. I'll do it. Okay. So I'm going to, and now I just pop this on. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at that. That is electric. Okay. And then just real random, no stripes, right?
Right. Just pick some empty spots and put little splotches down here and there.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, once we have this accent color on, what is the next step?
Next step is going to be on the next step before we do the next step, which is going to be black.
Okay.
It's going to be one of potentially two different applications of the same black. If you want more areas that have pale spots, like this one, like the one I'm going to be doing the stars on this one, I did not do black dye under ice. I did it just all dye over ice. On the, make sure to delay. So this one, like I said, this one was just dye over ice on the black.
Okay. Yep. That's fantastic.
Okay. Now on yours, and
I love magenta
this one.
black. That's so fantastic.
Okay. On this one, the rayon one, and on yours, and on pretty much all of the others I've done so far, I've done both dye under ice and dye over ice with the black. And that's mostly to fill in spots, and then when you do the dye over ice, you know that breaks more.
Dye over ice will show more of the splits, right? Right.
So on this point, it's going to be up to you on whether you're going to do black dye under ice as well as over ice, or if you're going to just do it over ice.
Well,
I usually do both.
Okay. Then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do whatever you normally do is what I want to do.
Okay.
So
I'm going to go ahead and get the.
Sorry if you hear me doing clackety clack clack. I like to clean out my funnel scoops really well before I put them away, and so I found if I tap on the back of them with something, usually I use my shears because I don't like to waste dye. So you'd be surprised how it looks empty, but then you tap on it and you get a whole bunch of more powder to come out. So I don't want to waste anything. And always, you guys, always remember to wear your protective coverings, like your face mask, your respirator, goggles, whatever. I'm creating a video right now and need to be heard clearly, so I am not wearing my mask, but make sure that you protect yourself. And to each their own, but I just want to put that out there. Okay. All right. So we're doing dye under ice and dye over ice, and I could also do two different blacks just to see what would happen. Why don't I do that also?
Okay.
So for me, I'm going to use Raven Black. I'm going to use Raven Black on the one where I went predominantly towards the pinks, because Raven has a tendency to split more towards the reds and, golden tones. And New Black, in my experience, has leaned more towards the blue tones. So I'm going to use that over here on the greens. Okay. Now, when you're adding your dye for this, is it an all over sprinkle or just in the areas that need it, or what?
Yeah, on the black, I tend to go for just light sprinkles in the areas that need it.
Okay.
So in my case, I tend to not get the edges really well with the colors, so I'm going to catch the edges.
Okay.
And then even if it's layering on top of other colors, I'm going to do a light sprinkle in the center, just because I want some
Like some depth.
Yeah. Well, and also when I do the stars, I tend to hit the areas. The stars go heavier on the areas that are black
Okay.
and really dark. Because when you look at like the James Webb Telescope pictures, the areas that are colored because of the gas content, where they filtered it based on gas content, you usually don't see a lot of stars there.
Okay.
Right. They're reflecting too much light for the stars to be seen through them.
Wow, you know all about nebulas. I don't know. I have no idea what they are. But you're right. You know, when you're looking at a picture, it's like the stars seem to be more in the dark areas, like the outer space like aspect of it, like deep into the galaxy, far, far away, the stars.
So, so I want to make sure that we definitely going to have some dark patches along with our lighter dusty patches.
Okay.
Okay, so I still have a lot of white empty space.
Let me look here. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I do too.
That's fine. Because like Margaret says, you need room for the dye to flow and break.
Right. I agree. Otherwise, it just turns into all one color. Okay. And then we're doing a light sprinkle over top of the whole thing, right?
Right.
So we can pick up a little more there. Okay. So I did the new black, maybe a little bit more right there and right there. And then it's so hard to see, like I can't tell what color is what and where I put it. And all right.
And that's where it gets fun.
Okay. And then yeah, no, tie-dyeing is so much fun. Okay, and then I'm gonna do on the other one, I'm gonna do Raven. Just to see what the difference is gonna be, if we even can tell a difference. And again, I'm gonna find those, like Rebecca's telling us, to find those areas that maybe don't have the dye quite yet. And for mine, it seems to be mostly around the edge, like you had mentioned.
Yeah, I think we just tend to forget the edges. We've got the big areas in the middle, and we want to fill them.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, this should be very interesting. Okay, and then when it comes to your ice, what type of ice do you like to use? Where do you
Well,
get your ice? What is it?
I was on most of mine. I've used bullet ice. But then I got the crushed ice machine, and I've only done one of these with crushed ice so far, and I don't have it to show because I had to send it off to someone. But I really do how the nugget ice worked. So I'm going to go nugget ice on these.
Oh, you got yourself a nugget machine?
Yep, I broke down and got a nugget machine.
The gallery, the Frigidaire gallery, or what did you get?
Yep, I got the gallery too, the same one that you've been recommending.
Oh, what color did you get?
Black.
Mine is navy blue.
Yeah. I just got whichever one Costco had.
Oh yeah, yes. And I think Costco's, because Costco they give them a special one. You know, it's like it's a Costco one.
Yeah, I just got, because I think they had one that was stainless steel, but it was like $10 more, so I didn't get it.
Now, I mean, you're gonna put it through the ringer. Who cares what color it is?
Right. I'm gonna go grab my ice real quick.
Okay, go grab your ice. I'm gonna tidy up just a little bit, kind of get my stuff out of the way here. Close up. I like to close up all my jars and everything, or I try to, anyways, before I put my ice down. Oh, go get your ice. I'm just trying to fill space. Oh, you probably already did walk away.
I could hear you.
Yeah. So I like to try to clean up and close all my jars before I start incorporating water into my area, because, you know, I don't want to get water into my dye jars.
Right.
I'm going to just look here and see what people are saying. Rihanna is late, but she made it. I'm glad you made it. Let's see.
And I'm putting up all my dyes except for the black.
I'm so excited. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I mean, I still have it right here next to me, but I just took my spoons away.
Yeah, I did too. I'm glad I have some more.
That's what, yeah, no, I'm still using the same spoons that I got 4 years ago from Walmart. I just put them in the dishwasher, let them air dry in the sink rack next to me, and once they're completely bone dry, stick them back in the box and just use them over and over again. I've had 2 spoons break in all this time, but um I try to reuse. We waste.
I've got a oatmeal container full of plastic spoons and some lab spoons for when I have to be a little bit more accurate on placement. They don't get used that often. And then I have a dollar store pitcher that I just, whenever I'm done using a spoon, it goes into a dollar store pitcher for me to fill up and wash when I out of spoons.
Yep. See, I do the same thing. I got my spoons. I use the same good old fashioned box that I've been using for forever, 48 count spoons, and these spoons have made so many projects. Okay. So now that you're back, I'm gonna go get my ice.
Okay, and I'm breaking up some clumps. I'm gonna have to refill my bowl. I know that. I got a dye spill. And I'm contaminating my ice.
All right. Okay, so now, did you do any soda ash? I forgot to ask.
I have not put soda ash on yet. I usually do that at the very end. I usually put that over the ice.
Okay.
Okay. So when it comes to
So
the
I was over at the machine. That silver bowl, is that your project underneath that?
oh no, this is just my big bowl of ice.
Okay.
How
do you get so much ice? I only get one bowl full.
Oh, I have been stockpiling ice for 3 days.
Okay.
Once we got it confirmed that I also have a pillowcase that's half full of ice sitting in the freezer, which I'm gonna have to be.
So, I mean, that's smart to stockpile it. So when it comes to my nugget ice, I find that it just really formed because it's a little bit damp from, how the bottom layers like melting and to recirculate back up. I end up just with like a huge clump of ice. So I don't really freeze my nugget ice. Look at those colors, you guys. Oh my God. Magenta Galactica is fantastic. It is
And
so beautiful.
Don't be careful when you're putting the ice down either. If the dye shifts, that's fine.
Okay.
I usually just
you just toss it on. Okay.
I just toss it on, smooth it out. I fill up my basket.
You've heard people say like food porn, or this is my dye porn. I mean, it's terrible to say, but like I love to see, like, look at that. I put a scoop of ice and the colors just climb right up the ice, and oh my goodness.
Now, one of the things I do with the nugget ice stuff, the basket of it. Now, like you were saying, it's wet. It's going to freeze into a clump. I put it in. I take the basket. I dump it into a pillowcase. and I freeze it. And then when the next basketful is ready, I smash it gets in the pillowcase to break it up, and then add the next layer.
So yeah, you can like bang it on the floor, and the
And
pillowcase doesn't break. All I have right now is the plastic bags.
well, on those you put a very thin. You spread out the layer and you let it dry flat. And then when it's frozen, you smash it up, transfer it into another container for storage, which is why I have my big bowl.
That's a really great idea.
And then use the bag to dry everything flat, or dump it onto a cookie sheet. Just something where you're getting a very thin layer of ice for it to finish freezing solid.
Yeah,
And
those are excellent tips.
And then, because I was having to do the same thing with my bullet ice. It's just break it up before you add more. And then,
So I said, dye porn, and Lila is agreeing with me. Yeah, it is the truth. Like anybody that's a serious tie-dyer, when they see the dye coming to life, like the colors, it's like, oh yeah, that's beautiful. So I saw a question go blazing by about a larger ice machine. If you look on my it's the playlist of tie-dye tools, and so it's not just tools, it's like how to and tie-dye tools. I have a handful of videos on my ice machines, and the one that we're all using right now, Scott Walker's using, Greg's using it, I'm using it, I'm sure a handful of you are using it, is the I think it's called Beaver, and it makes, I don't know how many pounds a day, but I always call it my big ice. It's a great machine. I don't run it all the time. I run it when I'm baking up ice, and then I unplug it and let it do its thing. The great thing about that machine is it if you don't have a water hookup, you can use bottled water to fill it. So that's why I love this machine, because I don't have any hookups out on my dye room. I'll grab a bag of ice. I'll show you what it looks like. I really highly recommend it.
I'm just waiting until I have room to put it.
I have mine sitting on a table right next to mine. And if you, for those of you that are curious about what I'm talking about, if you go watch the most recent like update video, I think it's like 2023 ice machine update or whatever. I have both machines on there, but this is what I make with my large machine, and it's a full bag of ice. It takes, probably, I just let it run all afternoon, and I can make 3 or 4 bags of ice easy. And I'll show you. It's been freezing for months. I haven't used it, but I mean, it makes full size like ice cubes. And I have dye on my hands, so I'm actually just going to put it down here on my project. And I don't feel like I have enough ice on my project right now, so I'm going to actually put some of this on my project.
Yeah, fill up the bag.
Because the one thing about the little nugget ice machine is, it can only make so much into one little tiny basket. So I can do like 1 or 2 spirals with it, and then it has to refill for an hour and a half. And so by the time I'm done folding up a project, it's already full and ready to go. But this one doesn't feel like it has enough ice, so I'm just going to use some of my bigger ice on it. Just a little bit. Well, or you can just pour it into your container and just waste all of it, but just a little bit. And since it's a nebula and it doesn't really matter, I can actually just pick this up and throw it in here. But
right.
Like I said, you can see, you guys, and it has various settings. You can make bigger, like thicker, more dense ice cubes. You can have them super thin. For those of you that watch Goyo's Garden and Tie-Dyes, he likes to make full sheets and just place it on his project. I mean, the sky's the limit. So You won't be disappointed. If you're, on the fence and not really sure, reach out to Scott Walker, reach out to Greg. They'll tell you, if they like it or not. I'm pretty sure they love their ice machines because I know I do. Okay. So I've got my ice on there. Let me go put this back so it can not melt all over the floor. And then let's move on to the next part.
All right.
Whoa. Nope, no, it wants to fall out. Okay. I got dye all over my hands. Okay, now that we've got the ice on there, now where do we go from here?
Now we're gonna take our black, and since I don't want to get black all over my table because I was gonna show you how to do the stars, I'm gonna put my container for the tapestry right on top of my basket. So when I dust it, if it goes over the edge, it'll land on my next project.
Okay.
I'm just going to do a light dusting.
Have we incorporated any soda ash into it yet?
We're going to do that next.
So I just picked up that big block of ice, you guys, and got navy blue dye all over me. So I guess when it comes to the ice portion of the project, if you don't want to cover yourself in dye, it's good time to start wearing your gloves. Okay, so now we're doing the black. Okay, so I did new black on this one. So yeah, look, I mean, that's brilliant. Because yeah, the dye is going to flop down into your thing and catch on to the next project. Okay, so and this is just a light, like you're doing powdered sugar on a cake.
And if you miss some spots or some spots are lighter than others, that's fine. It doesn't have to be even. It does not have to be an even application.
Okay.
And this goes into the bottom drawer down there.
Okay.
Oh.
I think that looks pretty good on that one. Okay, and now I'm gonna do the Raven, and I'll be curious to see if the splits will show up really quick on the Raven, just to see if we can see any of that gold and red that I've been talking about. Okay, so just well, that first sprinkle was a little heavy.
That's one of the reasons also why I tend to use a ton of ice. So if I go heavy, it's all split out and diluted by the time it hits the shirt.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. Okay, all right. So I think, so right off the bat, well, give it another minute and you can see just right off, the new black pretty much almost looks just like navy blue right out of the gate, whereas Raven is looking more towards like a gray black color. Okay, so now we've done that. Do you do the soda ash sprinkle?
Yep. Now we're going to do the soda ash sprinkle.
Okay. So I am going to put my mask on because soda ash really affects me a lot. It makes my nose bleed. So I'm going to put on my mask.
Me too. A reminder, I usually forget. I'm really bad about remembering to put my protection on.
Well, I have to because later I'll be telling you like, oh, I'm in pain. So it's caustic to my body.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so I just give my project a quick little sprinkle of soda ash for good measure. It's already been pre-soaked in soda ash. So, hopefully it's all there, but I just added quite a bit of ice. So, quick little sprinkle of soda ash for good measure. Okay. Now from here, what is your process? Everybody knows my process because I've been saying it out loud for a few years now.
Okay. A lot of my next process is going to depend on how much I have planned for the next day because I have very limited area to remove. to work in. So if I have an area that's filled with batching stuff, I don't have to work on new stuff. So what I'm going to do is try not to get in front of the computer while I put the phone while I put stuff aside.
So I'll say what my process is. So
yeah, sorry.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically leave this alone. I take it into my house where it's 70 degrees or higher, and I let it batch for the full 48 hours. That is my process. It's recommended that when you're working with Procyon dye and cotton natural fibers, it needs at least 24 hours at 70 degrees or higher so that the Procyon dye can bond with the shirt basically. But you can do it however you want to do it. I'm going to set this and I'm going to forget this. When the ice melts, I might come back and check it. If there's some really obvious area that has no dye on it, I might adjust and put a little sprinkle and maybe a couple more ice cubes. But for the most part, I set it aside and I let it do its thing. So that's what I'm going to do with these.
Yeah.
Now,
what I'm going to do probably is I have a variable temperature kettle, electric kettle, because I'm a tea snob and I want the, not all teas go with boiling water.
Did you say you're a tea, like a tea?
Tea, black tea.
Okay.
Brews at a different temperature than black tea, so I get I have a variable temperature water kettle.
Okay. I'm not a big tea or coffee drinker, so I didn't know that certain teas had to be. All right, cool. All right.
So, what I do is I'll fill my kettle. It's about half a gallon, 2 liters, and I'll set it for 160 degrees. And so once my ice is melted, I usually wait overnight. So I probably won't start my hot water until tomorrow morning.
Okay. And so you're talking about an irrigation type process,
right?
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is get my kettle up to 160 degrees and put my items over the sink, and then just gently pour hot water over them at about the speed you would if you were pouring coffee or tea. You don't want to just do it super fast, but you don't want to do it, or you don't want to just drip it on either.
Okay.
Just a nice gentle pour with the
is it only? I don't want to interrupt, but it's only hot water. It's not a soda ash hot water.
It's not soda ash because we've had. What we're doing is we're wanting it to set. We want what's in the fabric that's already had soda ash to set. Now, if you are uneasy about putting just straight water on, put another sprinkle of soda ash on before you put the water. But since I'm doing it directly with the kettle that I use for my tea.
Yeah, no. You do not want to mix, right? No, you don't want any chemicals in your teapot. Right. And what is the reasoning behind, what is your thought process? Are you doing the hot water flush to flow the dye? Are you doing it because you want to hurry up and move on to the next project? Or
that's it. I basically I'm doing a flash heat set. Okay. Because I figure the dye that's already flowed onto the fabric has pretty much set its location. There won't be any more, the dye's usually dissolved by the ice. I don't have any clumps unless I've used yellow or something with a lot of yellow in it, because we know how yellow behaves.
Yeah, it's clumpy. Yeah.
So I might have like little clusters of dyed soda ash sitting on top, but I won't have any actual dye at that point. So any color migration from flooding the water it might fill in some white spots if I have any whites left. Okay. But it's not. I've not noticed it really messing up the splits.
Okay, I mean that's good because for low water immersion and, certain projects, I will incorporate hot water, but for the most part, I just kind of leave stuff alone because I honestly, the way I feel about things right now, I could probably let this sit for a week before I feel like I want to rinse it out.
There
So,
you go.
but if you're excited and you want to get it on to the next step, which would be painting of the stars, then yeah. So, flushing it. So, what is can you say again? Because if you said it, I missed it. What temperature are you flushing with?
160,
One.
160.
Okay. Yep. All right. So
Now,
160.
with the muck item, what I'm going to do is I will pour off the muck and then flip it, just do a direct flip onto a rack that's hanging over my sink. So I do not add hot water to the muck because that lowers the temperature. Because I
Okay.
know you had mentioned um, pouring hot water into muck.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's a whole different process. That's low water immersion
Yeah.
or something to that effect. So
Yeah. So I drain off the muck and I move my mucked items onto a rack over my sink before I flush them.
okay. Yeah. And that's probably like the safest place to do it really is at your sink where you're operating with boiling water and muck water and projects,
And
do it.
and you're clumsy and you don't want to splash it all over your work area.
Exactly. Exactly.
um
Okay.
so what I'm doing is I did manage to get some black dye onto my table. I know you'd work directly on a table. I have a shower curtain liner on mine.
Yeah, that's smart. That probably makes it really easy to wipe off.
Actually, it's ridged. It's got some texture to it, so the dye really likes to get into it.
Oh, yeah.
But you might see some areas that are slightly shinier than others, and that's because I put a hole in the liner and I have packing tape over it.
Well, I mean that works. Yeah, I just go right over my table. Just I don't know because, and then if it gets pretty mucked up and stained up, then I just use the Clorox wipes. Or they don't have to be Clorox brand. Obviously, it could be anything, but it's the disinfectant wipes. And then if it's really stubborn, I will use like a shower mildew type spray. And I'll just spray it on, let it sit for a minute, come back, wipe it up with a paper towel, and it's pretty much good as new. And I recommend you guys to always clean up in between projects. So before I grab another one and go down on this table, I'm going to clean it up because turquoise, even though I didn't use turquoise, there's still turquoise all over this table.
Oh yes.
So okay. Now, were you going to demonstrate any star painting today?
I am.
Okay, good. All right.
I don't know how well it's going to come across on the camera because I don't know
Well,
how to get down any lower.
but it's fine because we get the idea, and then that way you're able to share your method, to explain what you're using,
Okay.
whatnot.
I am going to try lowering my tripod a little bit.
Okay, that's totally up to you.
Just to
All
see if
right. Yay! So we get to see this one get its stars done. So the jacquard paint. So I still have some silver left from the last project that I did with Margot, which is the Lumiere by Jacquard paint.
Mm-hmm.
What kind do you use?
I'm just going to use the regular jacquard white.
Okay. And does it need to be heat set with an iron before washing?
I do. I know Margot mentioned this the stuff that you can mix in to let it air dry. You can mix in at I think she said like a 2% ratio. It makes it so you can let it sit for 72 hours and it's bonded. But another thing, I'm going to stick with doing the heat setting on mine because when I do my washouts for nebulas, for nebula shirts, I'll use Millsoft.
Oh yeah, I love Millsoft.
And I will paint over the Millsoft. And for the stars, I don't think it really matters because they're tiny. I wouldn't do it over a stencil probably because I'd be worried about it. But when you're heat setting, what you're basically doing is you're melting the acrylic just a little bit, and you're melting it into the fiber. And so you don't have to worry about the fiber resisting it like it would with dye if you had Millsoft in place. But again, if you're not easy about having Millsoft or fabric detergent in place before you paint, don't do it. Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't noticed any problems. But again, I probably wouldn't do it if I wouldn't Millsoft a shirt before I did a stencil, which had a larger area of paint that was adhering in any one spot.
Yeah, and that's a really good point that you brought up because I learned to make sure that you don't have any softeners or any, before you dye, make sure it's pre-washed, no softeners, nothing in the fabric. And then when you do painting or whatnot, make sure there's nothing in the fabric. So I've never tried it any other way other than a bare fabric.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you're bringing that point up that you're able to paint your stars on and not really have any issue. So that's good to know.
My very first 2 shirts, the very first 2 I did, I was doing it was reflex. I hit them with the Millsoft, and it's like, oh, wait a minute. Well, I'm not going to sit there and wash them out again because I hand wash mine. Or I use a little camper agitator, something that's holds like 4.5 pounds of fabric, and all it does is agitate. That's the agitation. So, and it takes forever. So
yeah, right. So
I
I mean,
wasn't
yeah,
gonna do it
if you've had a whoopsies, I already used the Millsoft in it. To have to like go through the whole process again.
just put some dabs of paint on it. So I figured it was a good experiment since it was going to be staying with Carl and I. We each got one. And since it was staying with us, I knew I could always add more stars later if it didn't bond right.
Right.
They've been washed lots of times since then and haven't had any problems.
And the stars are still there.
Stars are still there.
Okay, so how do you what kind of tools do you use? You want to get started and just kind of like talk us through how you do it?
What I'm going to do is first I tried doing the whole splatter method with a toothbrush, and that did not work well for me. Because I didn't like the lack of control of where things were landing.
Yeah, because some can be super clumpy and
right,
yeah, and they don't really look like stars. It just kind of looks like
splatter to me.
Yeah, to me.
So, and I didn't have a paintbrush that was small enough at the time. So what I started doing is taking wooden toothpicks and cutting off the very tip of them. And I don't know if it's caught up yet.
That's a little bit behind yet. I'm not seeing toothpicks yet. Okay, yep. So I see some scissors there. So yeah,
there we go.
Cutting like the pointy tip off and just making it into like a stub, right?
Right. And you just want to look and make sure there's no splinters going off to the side that might cause a problem.
Okay.
I'm going to shake up my paint. I'm going to make sure it's well lidded and shaking up away from the shirt. I learned that the hard way.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Could you imagine like not having the top on all the way and just everywhere? Yeah, I've done silly stuff like that before.
Well, my first stenciled shirt got a puddle of paint where my bottle tipped over right in the middle of it.
Oh no. Yeah, total devastation. Like that would be so upsetting.
So what I usually do is take up my jar well, open it up, and then move the open jar well out of range. And I'll be working from what's in the cap.
Okay. I'm listening and I'm also searching.
Oh,
Okay, yeah. So right out of the lid. Okay, yeah. So when I was doing my stencil, I was using like the top of a cottage cheese container. So anything that you can just well, you're using the lid, but
I use the lid because I just I use whatever stuck to it when I shook up the bottle.
yeah,
Because we're not actually using all that much paint.
no. Have you ever tried doing it with a paint pen?
I did, and I didn't care for the results because
Yeah.
one of the things I like to do is you just load up the end of the toothpick, and then you start dabbing. I usually aim for the dark spots. I'll start on a sleeve and work my way across.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't load up with each dab. So what's happening is you end up with some really bright and dark stars, and then you get some really faint ones.
Yeah,
And
that creates depth. It's an illusion for your eyes.
right,
The
and,
smaller, lighter stars have an illusion of being farther away.
and also the lighter stars, those are the ones I will likely put into the really pale areas because they're fighting to get through that light. That
Yeah.
lid.
Look at that, like just right there, just a toothpick, you guys. No fancy tools. You don't have to go to the craft store. Or I mean, you got to get the paint, but you don't have to like go and do anything fancy. So I found what I was looking for. So I haven't opened these yet. So I have this Tulip brand soft matte fabric paint in white, and I just got new glasses. I should go get them because I can't read this without them. But so I haven't used this yet because whatever I used last time I did it was very scratchy. And I want to say it was also Tulip brand, but I don't know what it was. But when I reach across myself and I feel the stars, it feels like it's scraping my skin off. I hate that. And then while I was at the craft warehouse, this textile medium stuff, and she told me if I pour this into, and I don't think I have the right stuff, but there's a textile medium, and if you pour it into it, and again, I'd have to get my glasses, but it thins out the paint, which is going to make it less scratchy. So I don't know. I have products never used, couldn't tell you if they work, but I just want to show you that Tulip makes a fabric paint. I think the most important thing is to make sure that it's permanent fabric paint. You don't want it to be something that comes off when you wash it, right?
Right.
So
And that's one of the things. I'm not downplaying using Tulip products. My very first tie dye was using the Tulip dyes.
sure, mine. Well, I use jacquard, but I've also done tulip. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
It was what was available at Michael's.
Yeah,
But it faded quickly, and uh, whereas Jacquard, I trust the brand.
yeah.
Um,
I agree. Jacquard is a really great brand, and Tulip is a great brand. We all have to start somewhere,
oh yeah,
and most of us have started with one kit. What doesn't matter really what brand it is, but we started with a kit. We opened it up, rinsed it out, and went, "Wow, this is amazing!" And then here we are with Pro Chemical dyes and Dharma dyes and tools and gadgets and ice machines and everything coming out of our ears because it's so amazing.
like
So uh,
Carl did a spiral. I think that was his first one, was a spiral,
yeah,
and I was just amazed with how just twisting it up and doing wedges of color got you that result.
yeah, mine, I did two spirals with the kit. The kit said, I think I have one up there. Yeah, I have one. Let's see. I think this is one. So the kit says it can make like up to 25 shirts or something. Yeah, no, I was able to make two. Oh, 5 shirts. So this is what I started with, and I'm gonna do a video on this because we have a lot of new tie-dyers coming into the community. So everybody be patient in the group. You know, lots of new questions are coming. But so it says you can do dyes up to 5 shirts. Well, no. So the bottles are, well, not in this kit, but they were the 8-ounce size bottles, one turquoise, one yellow, one fuchsia. And I put so much dye on those shirts.
Mm-hmm.
No way I was going to get 5 out of them because I soaked those suckers because I had no idea what I was doing. But once I opened those up, they were like life changing. So this you can see here. This is like a 4-ounce bottle, I think. I don't know how they're going to tell me I can get 5 shirts out of 3 bottles of that. No way. I don't know. It's just really unrealistic. 5 shirts with a ton of white space in them. Heck yeah. So, but no, Jacquard is a great brand. And then Walmart has kits. If you go over to their craft area, they got little party kits and stuff. I mean, you know, look at that coming to life. Like, you guys, look at the difference in that. The shirt is already gorgeous, but then adding those stars, just the depth just really starts to come alive.
And even in the pale areas, I'm still making a few spots because you always, if you look at I would really recommend going online and Googling the John Webb or the Hubble telescope pictures. James Webb? James Webb, sorry, James Webb. Or the the Hubble telescope pictures.
Yeah.
And look at the nebulas. Because nebulas are where stars are born. So even the light areas where light is so diffused and picked up by the dust and whatnot, you're still going to have stars shining through here and there.
Yeah. No, that's really pretty. And so earlier when I said the white space, and again, I know it's not white space, but just visually, like the light areas, the white space in the shirt is what's creating that feeling of that you're looking through something, and then adding the stars to it is just giving it the dimension. So, yeah. Now, did you put anything in between it? Do you have cardboard or a plastic sheet or like a dollar store cutting board or anything in between it?
I don't for these because there's not that much paint going onto the material. Okay. If I were painting or stenciling, I definitely would because you're really soaking the stuff in. But in this case, if the way I see it is, if the paint does make it through to the second level, it's just going to be a star on the other side.
Okay, makes sense to me. I mean, really. Okay.
And you're only really loading up, or I only really load up like once every 10th dab.
Right. So it's not like so super wet saturated.
Right. Another thing you can do is when you're putting down dabs, you can do it just very super light and get a little teeny tiny spot, or press down a little harder and get larger spots. And you'll notice if you're using a toothpick is as the paint wears out, you're going to start getting rings or half rings of paint that are empty in the center, which I love.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah, no, I mean, because it just gives it more dimension.
It gives you a lot of motion. If you start going fast and you drag it a little bit, and you get a little bit of a streak going. That's again just motion.
Well, yeah, like a star going through outer space. I told you when we had our conversation, I'm gonna wash and iron my shirt and have it on display. And then this morning, I can't find it to save my life. Why don't you could you like just sort of chit chat for a minute and let me go run and see? So because if people could see the shirt that you sent me, I mean, I took pictures and we posted them online, but that doesn't mean that people saw it, right?
Right.
It's the most gorgeous nebula shirt I've ever seen. So I'll be right back. You chit chat. I'm walking away, so it's up to you to hold down the fort. I'll be right back, you guys. Let me go find it.
Yeah, Amanda, I'm seeing your comment about your table is textured and it eats wipes without cleaning. I had the same problem with my shower curtain liner. So I do have a sponge that's dedicated to cleaning up dye stuff, and that tends to work. I probably do need to scrub everything down with bleach. Do we have any questions? Have I missed any questions?
I don't think so.
Okay, I don't see any other. I don't see any questions, so I'm gonna keep babbling, I guess.
But well,
To
your knowledge, does Powerberry actually split into Navy?
I have not.
Or do you?
I have not played enough with Powerberry by itself to know.
Okay.
I did a shirt that was Powerberry, Imperial Purple, and Ultraviolet. I don't know what flipped what because they were all right next to each other. Although all three worked great with hot hibiscus, so because that was the pink I used to balance out the shirt.
Okay.
Then basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish peppering the side, and then I'm going to let it sit for 2 or 3 hours or more before I flip it and do stars on the other side, because I want to make sure it's dry before I flip it over and start potentially smearing it all over the place. One thing I do recommend is periodically just stepping back and looking at it from a distance, just to see if there's any areas where you think that there's a void that might need a spot or two.
Shayla is asking if you have favorite inspirations for nebula colors like NASA.
NASA, James Webb, Hubble. I find that one of the things I try to figure out how to best word this. A lot of those pictures are using filters, and the filters are based off of the colors that you see are based off the gas content in that area. So that's why you get such varied colors. And I honestly, at this point, I kind of want to go in and see what gases they use that throw off the green color. But I do look at the nebula pictures a lot. There's some designs I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do them. There's the nebula, the Pillars of God, the Hand of God. I'm trying to remember. Is it the Hand of God?
I'm not sure.
There's so many beautiful photographs. So I found it at the bottom of the hamper. So you guys, it's wrinkled and it's not clean and bright, and I mean it's fine, but this is what Rebecca sent me as a wonderful gift, and it's so incredible. I mean, this thing is absolutely fantastic. So I hope that mine will just be even a third of as beautiful as how this one turned out. So this is how Rebecca is showing us how she achieved this. And so do you remember what colors you used on this one? If people are wanting to recreate this one. I know you said Strawberry Skies was your accent color on this.
And then I think that was Raven, Midnight Blue, Magenta Galactica. And I don't remember my other blue or my other purple.
Yeah, that's okay. But yeah, I mean, you can just see the depth, like you can. So remember how I was saying about how the light areas draw you in, and so like right here is a really good example of that. There's the lighter area in the blue, and it just makes your eyes go through it, like you're looking into outer space. And here's another really bright, like light area. Same thing. It draws you in, like what's going to be on the other side of that. So having some light areas is not a bad thing. You know, a lot of times with projects, if I see light, I feel like I failed. I have not saturated well enough. But some projects you want to have the tones. So this thing is fantastic, and sorry,
Oh,
it's dirty and wrinkled.
yeah. But what I was saying earlier about with paint pens, I have tried using paint pens. I tried them on a tapestry, and I had the control on the placement, but I didn't have as much control over how much paint was going down. So I couldn't do slightly brighter and very dim stars. If I wanted to do something that was where the paint was just barely touching it, it ended up being this little super tiny speck that you couldn't see.
Right, right. You can't.
Um, and for someone who works as chaotically as I tend to do, um, I didn't let
Yeah,
the control.
you want
That
you want to be able to have the control, and I'm a control freak. I totally get it. So let's see. Is it Rihanna or Rihanna? I mean, I don't want to not say your name correctly. Rihanna. Um. So yeah, white space. When I first started tie dyeing, if I had white space on a project, and I mean I'm talking like literally white, I would feel very down on myself, like I had failed. And I'm really trying to move everybody away from that. Um. And it comes with time. White space allows the colors to breathe, and it shows what they're capable of doing. And on some projects you want and need that white space. So if I can achieve clean white space, I feel very accomplished. My single color ice dyes are a really good example of that. I mean, I know we're not doing that right now, but when I can make a beautiful spiral and really achieve beautiful, clean white space, I feel very accomplished and proud of myself. So, white space is not a bad thing. Now, there are certain projects that if you have white, you have not done what it was supposed to do. A wig is a very good example of that. You don't want to have a lot of white in your wig. It should be fully saturated. Um, I can't really think of any other projects that must be saturated to be a success.
um
I
some
think just the
some
wigway.
mandalas,
What?
some mandalas maybe.
Oh yeah, like yeah, some intricate work, like really intricate type patterns could again like a wigwag, where maybe your only white area is your sinew lines. You know, you want the white in your sinew lines and nowhere else. But having a little bit of white creates variation, especially like in geodes and stuff like that. People will say, "Oh, they'll send me a picture and they'll say, "Oh, there's just too much white space." It's like not really, it just gives it more depth and more variation. So we all need to stop being so hard on ourselves. Um, Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and I know that we're all hardest on ourselves, but like something that we might not find attractive, there are 100 other people that think it's the greatest thing they've ever seen. So try to be nice to yourself. I mean, that's my big advice, for the day when it comes to tie dyeing. So I wish I would have had a project done and ready. I would have been doing the painting with Rebecca, but I didn't. So
Yeah.
I'll have to do that up off camera, and when it's done in a couple of days, I'll share it with you guys so that you guys can see how it turned out. Now, this
We
shirt,
didn't want people to have to wait 2 weeks to find out what to do next.
yeah, that's exactly why I wanted to push, because now that I'm moving to every other Saturday, um yeah, 2 weeks, you guys would forget what we were even working on before we'd have an opportunity to see it in completion. So one thing, this is my very first Fruit of the Loom HD cotton shirt. I've never worn one before, purchased or worked with them or anything like that, and I can tell you guys, it's a really nice shirt. It
Isn't
has a
that what I used for yours?
Yeah, that's what you sent me.
Yeah, okay.
And it has a really nice feminine shape. It comes in the sides. It's not like super heavy. It's not super light. It's just a nice t-shirt, and it has a good length. I know a lot of the Gildan shirts are very short. This Fruit of the Loom HD cotton has a nice feminine shape, length, cut. I was actually wearing this the other day, and the neighbor said, "Look, she thought I had lost weight." And I thought, well, heck yeah. Thank you very much. Because I haven't. But so it's a nice ladies cut, form fitting V-neck. So I just wanted to put that out there for you guys. If you're new to tie dyeing and you're curious about what to tie dye, this is not a bad shirt. I typically use Gildan brand, and I get them from jiffyshirts.com.
Yeah. I've been going through Shirt Max just because that was the first one I found when I was looking for bulk blanks. And they didn't have the Gildan ladies cut when I was trying to order for yours, which is how I ended up with these, and I'm really happy with them.
With the HDs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one for the lady style cuts, which I don't do usually. I'll do them for custom orders.
Oh, I see. Well, I feel very special then. Thank you for making a very special shirt just for me.
Yeah. Well, it's with ladies cuts. We all know they're more expensive.
Yeah, they definitely are.
And for us bustier ladies,
yeah,
they tend to not fit overly well across the chest and fit snugly everywhere else.
That definitely can. I agree. That can be
an issue.
That can be an issue for sure. I just prefer them. I can't wear.
They're form fitting.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, they're form fitting and they're pretty, and they do accentuate all the right places.
Yeah.
But for most of the shirts you're going to find at Singing Wolf Dyes, the Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
Almost all of them are going to be the Gildan unisex.
Yeah, which are great shirts. I just personally can't wear a unisex, like a crew neck collar.
Right.
I'm being strangled. I don't know. I can't do it. My grandmother was the same way. She'd cut all the collars off all of her clothes. I feel like I'm really, like, I can't breathe. They're just and they're not. They're on my collarbones, but I can feel it, and it's just like a strange phobia. It's one of my weirdo things.
I know Shayla is who I don't know if she's still here or not. Shayla will modify t-shirts on a regular basis, just to make them more comfortable. I know that she's adjusted sleeves, she adjusts collars, and I need to go look at both Jiffy Shirt and Shirt Max to see if I can find a unisex or a men's cut with a V-neck.
Yeah, I don't. Well, actually, I do think they do. I think Jiffy does have a unisex, where it doesn't cinch in at the waist. It's just a unisex square cut with a V-neck. I could be wrong, but I think they do have them.
Yeah, I can't see them not, because the whole having a feel of something up against the base of the neck, right there.
I can't be the only one.
You're not the only one. I will pull out a ladies cut on days I haven't slept well because if I'm tired, I can't do a crew neck.
Yeah, they're claustrophobic for me, really. So that really. Are, have you finished? It looks beautiful.
Yeah, I think that I'm happy with how this looks. And then what I'll do is I'll let it dry for a few hours before flipping it over and doing the other side.
Okay, so you'll let it dry for a few hours, flip it over, and then let it dry for a few more hours, and then iron the whole thing, and
Right.
then you put it in the wash and hit it with the mill soft and do all that.
I washed it and mill softed it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You've already
Yeah.
done mill soft. Okay.
So,
So you won't wash it again then from this point.
No, I'll flip it inside out, iron it. I iron mine with steam, just the regular cotton setting, the hottest setting your fabric can handle. For rayon, I know we had discussed this. For rayon, I don't go any heavier than the silk setting because I don't want to risk melting it. I've heard you can use the wool setting, but I haven't yet, and the silk setting seems to work fine.
Okay.
Um,
And then do you just use your regular iron? Do you have a special one that you use for ironing your paints or your decolorants and stuff like that, or do
I
you just
I
use
use my regular iron. I turn this
Okay.
inside out. I'll turn it inside out and iron it. Now, if you're doing something, I was working with a hoodie that was not lined. It was just jersey knit.
Yeah, real lightweight.
It was real lightweight, but it had the whole packet of, should say, the little placket for the pocket in the front. Which, when it was turned inside out, I didn't think that that top layer was going to get enough heat to set it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was going to be going through multiple, 2 layers of fabric. And in that case, I just turned that area right side out, put a paper towel over it.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So it doesn't like stick to the iron and muck up your
Right.
iron.
Because what you're doing with the acrylic paint is you're melting the paint into the fabric.
Into the fabric. Okay. Yeah. It's been it's been years since I've done any. I still haven't finished the shirt that I did with Margot. I still need to add some stenciling to it. Um, So, and just real quick, you guys, while we're finishing up, I just want to say thank you to all of you that have reached out to me and checked up on me and were wondering if I'm okay. Yes, I'm okay. Sometimes life gets a little hectic outside of the tie-dye realm. Real life takes over, and I just needed a break. So, summer's coming. I'm going to get back into it, but it really meant a lot to me to see how many of you, were thinking of me. And I really do appreciate the community. I mean, you guys are my friends and we care about each other. And so that really meant a lot. And also just real quick, I just want to, Amanda, she's so sweet. She's in the UK. And I've been waiting so long, Amanda, to eat these gummy bears. But I wanted to make sure to give you a proper thank you. So I received a care package a couple weeks ago, and it just super sweet and super thoughtful. And I love chewy candies.
I'm going to have to remember that.
Love anything chewy, but it was super duper sweet. But I want to just say thank you, Amanda, sincerely. And you guys don't have to send me things. I mean, I appreciate it so much. I really seriously appreciate it. But you guys know, well, many of you know that I'm obsessed with rainbows. And she sent me this cute, adorable pin set of all these little rainbows that I can put on like my scrub tops. Like this one says FUCK off with a happy little rainbow. Like how cute
I
is
like
that? But I mean, it's just so thoughtful and so sweet and so personal. So, Amanda, I'm going to start crying and I'm going to try not to here, but thank you from the bottom of my heart. Super duper sweet. And again, for those of you that just reached out, sent me a message, just inquiring, like, where am I at? What's going on? I appreciate you checking up on me. And I also appreciate the fact that you guys just let me have some space that I needed to just like take a breather. So, but I'm back. We're getting back into things. So no worries. Like I said, we got a lot of new tie dyers coming into the community. You're gonna see a lot of new um, redundant questions that we've all answered a million times, like what is soda ash? Be patient. Remember what it was like your first time tie dyeing, and be helpful. And our group, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Belladonna Dyes community tie dye group. It's about learning and teaching each other. So um, help each other out, be nice to each other, and I'm excited to see all the new tie dyers coming in. And if you're brand new and this is your first live stream, awesome! I'm so happy that you're here. We have a lot of fun on my channel.
Hi, Scott.
So, oh, yep. Scott Walker's in the house. So we have a lot of fun on the channel. So you definitely want to click subscribe, and then turn your bell to all, and turn your phone or your device setting to allow YouTube notifications. That way, when we're doing a live video, it'll pop up and let you know that we're going live. I try really hard to remember to do like an announcement, but sometimes I go impromptu and just do it. And so if you don't want to miss out, get all your settings, all your ducks in a row. Because I plan on making some fun projects this summer.
I pulled my projects into the camera view.
Okay.
I'm
grabbing mine. I'm gonna bring mine over
I'm
because the ice is really starting to melt, and they look really different.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is I'm going. My camera is lower than it was when I was originally doing these. So I'm trying to figure out where things are. But the dye over the ice and the way that the black I used split. And I'm seeing golds and I'm seeing reds and
I am too on my shirt where I used new black from Dharma. I think that's what it was, new black. I'm having a lot more of the golds and the reds over on this side, which I thought I'd have more blues, and I'm surprised at how my other black, which was the Raven, is just really staying. Maybe it's just because it's a smaller container, but the I am starting to see some of the bronze and the blues and all that showing up, but nothing like the new black is doing. And then yours, you're having a lot of really beautiful bronzy, orangey, reddish golds.
and I think part of that is again because the I'm trying to remember how I remember seeing it described. The blue dyes are larger particles.
Okay.
So they tend to melt out first and sink to the bottom. That's why they travel to the bottom. When they're larger and they melt, they're one of the first to melt off in the split. And they take longer to set, to bond to the fabric. Whereas the reds and the golds, the reds are lighter, they're a finer particle. So they tend to float towards, stay up towards the top, especially on the ice. So they're like the last to flow into the fabric.
Okay. I've heard something like that before. What I heard is the red tones, like fuchsia red, reds, they bond first, and then yellow, and then turquoise needing the longest batch time and the highest amount of heat. If you really want a true bright blue, you have to make sure that you're batching at warmer temperatures.
And that's one of the reasons also, if you want to batch the full 24 hours and then, because on the times I have batched at 24 hours, I still hit it with the hot water if I have something that I know has turquoise in it.
Okay. Yeah. Just to really make sure you get that vibrancy from the blues. Okay. That totally makes sense. So yes, Scott Walker has joined the chat. And what are you saying? You thought it started at 6. Oh yeah, no. for Saturdays, I want to move it up earlier. I want to try to accommodate more people. Because when we were doing it, I felt like 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock. It's pretty late, and then we move into the 10 o'clock hour, and So I was thinking earlier in the afternoon is better, maybe to accommodate more people. So, but next time you'll be going live with me, Scott. We'll be doing it at noon and 3. So no, that's. I'm really loving the way your ice looks right now. I mean, it looks so super pretty. Like, so what did I say earlier? Right? It's dye porn, you guys. Like, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I
I
could
think
watch ice melt all day.
yeah, when I do dye over ice, I love getting in and doing close-up shots and then posting them to my page. And I
Yeah.
have, what type of berries are those? And it's like when I was doing the bullet ice.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, are those blackberries? It's like, no, that's ice.
Those are ice cubes with dye melting over top. Just so beautiful. Um, I used to try to do the time lapse, but it's just really difficult because it ties up my devices and all that. But setting it on time lapse and watching it go from start to finish, it's super fascinating just to watch this white piece of fabric come to life. It's incredible. I love it. So yes, okay. So Rebecca, is there any last minute tips or anything other than we're going to set it aside and let it do its thing that we haven't touched on that you want to make sure people know to do with this project?
Um,
Or did we cover it all?
I think we've covered the basics. I mean, my biggest thing is there is honestly no way to do this one wrong. Um, have fun. Don't overwork the fabric. The sloppier, and more chaotic, the better. Honestly. Um,
And then
if the islands where you didn't want it to, run with it. Just keep going. And also with the amount of dark fabrics that we've used, the amount of the dark dyes that we used, when you first start washing it out, even on it's going to take a lot of water. You're going to be washing a lot.
Yeah, you know what? That's a really actually, I'd like to ask you to explain, like, what is your washout process? So let's say it's all done. You've either hot water irrigated or you didn't or whatever. When it comes to your final rinse out, then wash out, what do you do? What products do you use? How do you do it?
Well, my biggest thing is right now we do not have a full size washer. So everything I'm doing is by hand, and I want to spend as little time standing at my sink as possible. So what I'll do is I'll do a thorough rinse in cold, and then I will fill a basin with hot water and a squirt of blue dawn,
Okay.
and let it soak until the water is cool. Pour it off, rinse it, maybe soak it again. And usually after 2 soaks, it starts looking, the water's mostly clear.
Okay.
And then I'll do the hot water wash with Synthropol. Or well, right now I'm using the Derma Professional Textile
Right.
detergent.
Yeah, which is basically the same thing as Synthropol or Carolon.
Yeah, I found Synthropol available for subscribe and save on Amazon.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And I actually have all of them. I have all 3 of them. I prefer the Synthropol. The Dharma brand stuff is very strongly scented to me. It's a very strong chemical smell.
Okay.
And
I haven't tried it yet. I've only tried Synthropol, and then when that was no longer available, I've moved into Carolon, and I've got enough Carolon to last me a couple of years at this point. So,
and when I'm looking at the instructions, the Dharma brand stuff is less expensive when you're looking at the gallon, but you're using a third to a half more.
okay, yeah, so it doesn't really pay off in the end.
Right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I prefer the Synthropol. I haven't tried Carolyn yet. Mostly because I can get the Synthropol with free shipping through Amazon Prime.
Right. Right.
And
No, yeah, definitely if you can get it from Amazon with free shipping, 100%. I have used both and I would say Carolyn is Synthropol just with a different name.
Right.
So, I mean, just saying. And I really like the Synthropol. I have not used Dharma's textile detergent yet. And so I can't speak on that. But
that's a great job.
I'm sure it's great, but if you feel like you have to put an extra, I do splooshes. Okay, I don't measure anything. I just go
Well,
sploosh.
like I said, I have a small portable washer, and all it does is agitation. It holds a whole whopping 4.5 pounds of fabric. I use about 3 gallons of water to it, and for 3 gallons of water, I use 2 tablespoons of the Dharma
Okay, yeah,
professional style, whereas it's only 1 tablespoon with the Synthropol.
yeah. So ultimately, you've heard the saying, "Well, it all comes out in the wash." Well, literally in this an explanation. So yeah, a gallon of Dharma's textile detergent and a gallon of Synthropol,
The
maybe
Synthropol
about
is
$3 difference. And so yeah, you're saving the $3, but in the long run, you're using twice the amount of product.
right.
And if you can get it from Amazon and have free shipping, well then it's way better. So okay. So then you do your agitation. So you do the 2 hot water soaks and then you do your agitation, right? You do
Right.
put it in the agitation cycle. And then do you put it in the dryer, air dry it, iron it? What do you do?
I'll throw mine into again. Full size dryer is not working right now either.
Okay. Yeah,
We
I
use
hear you.
laundromat a lot.
Look, I get it. I get it.
So what I usually do is when all said and done, I use a spin dryer. I use my spin dryer,
Okay.
and then I hang dry.
Yeah.
And in general, doing a hang dry is going to save your material. It's less strain on the material. It's less strain on the dye. And on your clothes in general, if you can hang dry, you're saving electricity and you're saving wear and tear on your clothes.
Sure. I mean,
Um,
there's nothing wrong. There's nothing putting the garment in the dryer doesn't like do anything. It doesn't heat set it or because I get asked a lot if the reason why I iron is because ironing does something to the dye. No, I want it to look good while I'm taking pictures. And
and the shirt I was putting the stars on has not been ironed.
yeah, okay.
That was spin dryer, sort of smooth. I patted it smooth and hung it up to dry.
Okay.
Um,
Because I think I would just because my process is different from yours. I put it in the dryer, and then when it comes out of the dryer, it's wrinkled. So for me, I probably will iron it so it's smooth, then add my stars, and it's just because so I have a smoother surface. But if you're hanging your shirt up while it's barely damp, the wrinkles are you're not gonna have it wrinkled like I would have it wrinkled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, before I do my glamour shots, I'm going to iron it. I still iron everything before, and it's funny because we were talking about it. We both hate ironing.
Oh yeah, no. Spent
I,
my whole life avoiding ironing than to find the greatest hobby in the world it requires ironing constantly. So it's kind of funny, really.
and I will say on these because we're working with such dark colors. We're doing the black overwash. We're doing a lot. The deep blues, the dark blue, the dark purple. We're using black. Carl can attest. There have been several times I've washed it and I'm washing it. I'm doing the final wash, and there's no color coming out in the water anymore. And I'm holding up and I'm looking at it and I'm about to cry because there's only like one little faint spot that's kind of maybe pink, and another spot where I can kind of make out the blue.
Oh
and,
yeah.
And then I spin dry it, and the colors pop.
Yeah. So that's where the saying comes in. What's the saying, you guys?
Thou not cry till thee washed and dry.
Do not cry until it's dry. And I mean, and it really is true.
And it's more especially true on these. So do not be disappointed. And also there's times, I look at it and it's washed, it's dried, and I'm like, it's okay, I guess. And then you get the stars on it, and the stars make the difference. The stars are the make or break on these, honestly.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, it really gives it depth and makes it pop. And I'm just looking over here. Scott, what did you just say? I feel like my dyes are brighter after I iron them. Maybe that's just me. Uh Same. I feel the same way. Not necessarily brighter, but the colors come alive because when the fabric is all kind of wrinkly and crinkly up, right? The flow of the dye doesn't really present itself. But once it's ironed, it really shows itself. There have been so many projects where I've got it hanging up in the laundry area and I just walk by it and I'm like, I hate it. It's so ugly, can't stand this. And then I'll iron it, and as I'm ironing it really seems to come alive and changes my opinion. So for those of you that have been with me now for several years, you know that I say that iron your projects, iron, iron, iron. And especially if you're trying to sell your work, you must iron it. There's nothing worse than trying to sell a shirt that looks like it's just laying on your floor, like out of your dirty clothes hamper, kind of like what I just shared with you, my dirty my dirty shirt. But if you want to sell your work, it reflects upon on your whole overall look. If you've got two shirts that are very similar and one person has a dirty, wrinkly looking shirt and then another person just took the time to iron it, they're probably going to buy the ironed shirt. So if you're getting into tie dyeing to try to have a business, you really got to take those extra steps just to make it a little bit better. And an extra step of ironing really is not that big of a deal. So what I do is I just save up a bunch of projects and then today's my ironing day. Ironing photos, ironing photos. So iron your work, everybody.
And also I think we had talked about sometime in the future for next live streams.
Yeah.
Doing lightning shirts and
Oh yeah, I haven't done one yet, so I think that would be a lot of fun. Do you have one for an example?
Let me go look. Just
and then you guys, also, if you guys have some requests, I know in the past Teresa had set up in the group, like a list of like what would you guys like to see, and then that's been like 4 or 5 months ago now. But reach out, and then if you want to go live with me and share your work and share your business, and this is your opportunity to do so. So you just need to reach out to me. I'm not going to hunt you down and beg you. If you want to do it, I want to do it with you. I have fun. I have fun doing these. So, reach out to me. You guys can find me on Facebook, and you can private message me. The crows, it must be mating season. I've got these big giant crows and they're just whipping back and forth my windows here aggressively. So I think maybe new baby crows will be coming here soon. So yeah, so the lightning shirt. I've never done one before, and it's more like a gravity type dye, I'm pretty sure, I think.
okay. Let me okay, we have one that's hardly wrinkled.
That's fine. We're just sharing. Right. The lightning is a gravity style, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I actually do different styles of them. I do what I call regular gravity, where the front and the back are pretty much the same. You're using a single tie. And I'm actually going to try moving my camera up again.
Okay.
There we go. So it covers a little bit more area. Earthquake. All right, so this is one of the ones I made for Carl. Now my lightning shirts, again, front and back, it's a single tie, and I tend to use one or two colors, where I have one color on either side of the tie.
Yeah, the one that you showed me was really beautiful, and I'm pretty sure you were using Happy Cat tie-dye dye on that. I could be wrong, but I just remember going like, "Oh, wow."
Yeah. Well, I know one of the ones I showed you that was two colors was all Pro Chem.
Oh,
It
okay.
was before I had done my first Dharma order, and it was
Yeah, yeah, that
spicy
cool.
plum, and it was spicy plum and bronze.
Oh, that's beautiful. Did you see Rad Dyes? Scott Walker says that he wears his lightning shirt from you all the time.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah. So, yeah, so I haven't done one of these, and gravity dyes haven't really been my friend. So I would love it if you would like to do this in the future. I think that would be a lot of fun.
This one was I forget which black I used, but it was black and lime pop.
Yeah, that's really pretty.
And then this is my basic lightning. And then I also I do what I call my storm shirts.
Hmm.
And the storm shirts, instead of being tied corner to corner, they're tied hem to collar. So I can get two different ties. I can get a tie on the front and a tie on the back, which means that if I wanted to, I could do different colorways, front and back.
Yeah.
But what I usually do is I usually stick to three colors. And the way it's tied and the way you drape it over the gutter or whatever rack you have that's going to be holding the shirt and the ice, when
Hmm.
you hold it, you end up with colors swirling at the lowest point, so you get clouds. So what I usually do on these are usually three color.
Oh boy, look at that! Whoa,
Um,
that is pretty. Is that Stormy Skies?
nope, this is before I had Stormy Scott.
Wow, I mean that
Or
just like it looks like Stormy Sky, and then
yeah, this is. I know I think I used raspberry on this.
that's really, really, really pretty. And I love the fact that you have your own personal tags. Like that's really professional. Because I don't have any of that. Somebody buys a shirt for me, I put it in a cute little rainbow bag and off it goes. But I don't do any of the personal touches like
These
uh,
are these are
that's
double printed, double well both sides printed business cards.
yeah,
Um,
that's really smart.
yeah, and on the other side you have the size. I have a place for the size, the price, the fabric content, and the care. And I just mark off, fill in the blank, to mark off what's applicable.
Yeah, I remember that from when I got my shirt. And you guys, it's like that's what I'm saying, the professionalism. All these little things, like who cares about ironing, right? But like it makes a difference. And those little touches are what makes you stand out if you're trying to, be a business. And so I mean, I think that's great. And the shirt is beautiful and just stands alone on its own. So
And
yeah,
then
I would definitely love to do another live session with you where you oh wow, look at that one. Where you demonstrate how to do it. So yeah, if you want to, I want to. And yes, Lila, when you get yourself an order, I'm here. I'm not pressuring you. Whenever you want to go live, just let me know and we can figure it out. Yeah, that one's really pretty.
oh yeah, and I can't wait to see some moon dye tapestries because I watched the shorts and I watched the reels and I'm like, okay, how is she tying that? Because I can't get anything like that.
Well, yeah, I'm looking forward for Lila to do some of her like her star work, like her what are they called? I don't even know, but like stuff that I don't do. And that Lila, that's why I ordered those like this bandana thing is because I want to try to practice and learn some of these Ron Star folds or John what's how do you say his name? John Kabrinsky style or I guess Brent Walker is doing them, to get into more of, the detail work. So that's why I ordered a big stack of those um, to practice on. So just again, really, really quick, because I know as we're wrapping down, you guys are going to like leave. Don't forget Sunshine Joy. So www.sunshinejoy.com, 10% off through May, and then it's gone. Um, for whatever you want on their website. It doesn't have to be just tie-dye stuff, but they've got tapestries in different sizes. They've got the scrub tops, scrub jackets, wrap skirts. Um, just if you want to get in on that, the coupon code is all capital letters Belladonna. So get in and get your orders on stuff because I also want to be making some tapestries in the future. Yeah, that shirt really beautiful. Do you have another one? Is this a different? Oh no, you're just folding it up. Okay, so I think we should wrap up. I think we've been really thorough. Before we leave, why don't you just real quick for the people that weren't here in the beginning, let them know how they can find you if they want to purchase that shirt you just showed us. How do
I,
you have what are your social media
it,
links? Do you have
um,
Instagram? No, what is it?
I'm not really active that much on Instagram yet. So right now it's just facebook.com/singingwolfdyes, all one word.
Okay. And I'm gonna put a link in the description box and I'll make it easy. It'll be down in the description box for because people will come in and watch this over the course of forever, and so I'll put a link down there so they can also find you. um is there anything else that you want to say about yourself before we wrap up? Just
I just want to thank everyone who showed up and thank you everyone for having patience with me.
okay. Patience, what are you talking about? We're all friends, we're just having fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was Rebecca's first time of going live and she did great, you guys. Right? Did you have fun?
Yeah, I had fun.
Okay, good. That's what matters, and I'm glad that you had fun. I had a lot of fun doing it with you, and I appreciate you teaching me how to do this and teaching all of us how to do this. So I really do appreciate it. And let's see, just some yarn would be interesting. Yes. Um, I don't have. I've never done yarn, but you've done yarn. But and I've
I've
never done
learned about
anything other than Procyon dye. So I haven't branched out into like you said in the beginning. You started by being an acid dyer. I've never done
right.
that before.
But the thing is there are some gorgeous cotton yarns out there, or cotton silk blends, or linen. Um, and there's a company. It's called Wool 2 Dye 4, and the numbers are just wool, the number 2, dye, and number 4. And they have naked yarn of all sorts. And they have one that is a blend of linen, silk, and alpaca that is gorgeous. Shayla can tell you I made a she has a collar. And for the life of me I can't even remember the name of the style. But she has a piece that I dye for her, and it's going to run into the same problems with acid dye as it would with Procyon. Not all the fibers are going to pick up the dye. So if you do this yarn, the linen and the silk are going to pick up the dye, and the alpaca isn't, or it's just going to be barely tinted, which gives a lot of depth.
Okay, so that
Um,
that would definitely make a really good future tutorial, or a live tutorial to teach to try to even branch out more than just our tie-dye community, but to branch out into other type of craft communities.
So, silk yarns, cotton yarns, linen yarns. Pretty much, if you would be able to dye it on a shirt, you can dye it in a yarn.
All right. Well, so I mean that gives us all stuff to look forward to, and that's exciting. You guys, I'm learning so much from all of you, and I really appreciate it because we're all doing things differently. And I knit a little bit. I love to make little dishcloths and stuff, and so I have one foot over there in the knitting community, but not much. I also love to garden, and so many of you are doing tie dye and knitting and gardening and this and that and woodworking. I mean, there's there all of you guys have so much to share and to teach. And so I'm really excited moving forward to just branch out. I have the Cricut machine or Cricut Cricut, a lot of you have those and do amazing things with that. And I mean,
Oh,
the sky is the limit, you guys. We can
we
we can really start doing all kinds of stuff.
we need macrame lessons from Amanda.
Amanda, who? Which Amanda?
Neville.
Oh, Amanda, you make macrame? I didn't know that.
That's macrame cord.
Yeah. Can you dye macrame cord? So, yeah, macrame. I remember my mom doing something like that when I was a little girl, like, in the 70s. I would love to make like a macrame pot holder for my, a plant hanger, um, all of that stuff. So, well, I look forward to it. All right, you guys. I think that we've run our course with this one. I'm going to take my project in the house, 70 degrees or higher. I'm going to let mine batch for the full 48 hours because that's what I do.
And
Rebecca.
I'm probably going to hit mine with the hot water tomorrow, probably tomorrow afternoon, because I've got to get some stuff ironed and pictures taken. Because I've got a whole bunch of tapestries that I have to post.
So,
Mini tapestries.
so the mini tapestries, like the one I did, like the bandana size.
Yeah, the towels I use are 28 by 28.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
So they're a nice little tapestry to hang on the wall. I also have friends who have used them for casting cloths for tarot or rune stones.
Oh yeah, you were showing me some of that. That's really amazing stuff.
Um, so they're a good size. So I need to get some up on the site.
Yeah, I know. I've got so much stuff here. Like every project you guys see me make is still like hanging here next to me. So I've got a lot of work I got to get caught up on, but I will eventually get caught up on it. Okay, well, let's wrap up. So thank you everybody for tuning in with us. I had a lot of fun, Rebecca. Thank you so much for sharing this technique with me. I haven't done it before, so I look forward to finishing it up and doing my star painting. And I will share it with you guys once I accomplish all of that. Um, and then I don't plan on going live again until at least not this coming Saturday, but the Saturday afterwards. That's the schedule that I want to get on. So, I mean, we'll see. Don't hold me to it. I mean, a couple Saturdays from now, maybe I won't, but I will try to remember to make an announcement. And then give this a few hours or 24 hours, and then it should go completely up on YouTube if you want to go back and catch the beginning if you missed it. And in the meantime, I will try to work on getting all of Rebecca's like information so you can just click on it and head right over to Facebook. So, all right. All right. Well, I think we're just going to wrap up. So, again, thank you. Any last words, Rebecca, before I hang up?
It's been fun. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, I had a blast. And again, thank you all of you for all the love and support that you give to me and in our community and give to each other. It really warms my heart so much. So All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna hang up. Thank you, and we'll see you the next time. Okay.
Have a good evening.
Thank you, Rebecca. Take good care.
You too. Bye.
Bye.